All right, let's dive into a real classic, A Tree Grows in Brooklyn. We're setting the scene in the summer of 1912. And to really get to the heart of our young protagonist, Francie Nolan, we're going to dig into her family history. Chapter 8 lays it all out for us. It's the raw material that makes her who she is. So that's the big question, right? Who is Francie Nolan? And the answer, well, it's way more complicated than just some 11-year-old kid reading on a fire escape. To find it, you gotta look back. We need to peel away the layers and see the people and the legacies that literally built her. And we're gonna start on her father's side of the family, with the Nolans. And oh, what a family they were. They were defined by this really tragic, romantic contradiction. A whole line of men who were just as charming and talented as they were completely fated for self-destruction. And this right here, this slide just lays out the book's entire core conflict in two simple lines. On one side, you've got the Rommely women, absolute pillars of strength. And on the other, the Nolan men, these beautiful, charming, but ultimately weak figures. This is the push and pull, the fundamental tension that Francie is born right into the middle of.
I mean, the Nolan boys, they were practically local legends, the pride of the neighborhood, you know? Always handsome, dressed to the nines, shoes perfectly polished, trousers pressed. They could sing, they could dance, they could charm absolutely anyone. But, and it's a huge but, that same charm was tangled up with the self-destructive streak that led every single one of them to an early grave.
So let's take a look at how this pattern of tragedy actually played out. And I mean, it happened in a shockingly short amount of time. This wasn't some slow, gradual decline. No, it was a total collapse.
This timeline just shows you the relentless piece of it all. First, Andy, the eldest, is gone. Then, just about a year later, Frankie dies in this completely senseless accident. A few years after that, Georgie's gone too. Think about that. In just a handful of years, a family of 4 vibrant, young brothers was tragically cut down to just one.
You know, the crucial thing to understand is that this legacy, it wasn't just some abstract idea. It was a real, tangible thing that got passed down through physical objects. And nothing captures this more grimly than the story of a single, morbid pillow. Okay, this is just fascinating. The brothers, they pull their money to buy this expensive swan's down pillow just so their dying brother Andy can have one moment of comfort. But it almost immediately becomes his death pillow, stained with the very end of his life. And then, get this, they cover up the stain and give it to Johnny and Katie as a wedding present. It becomes the sick pillow, this object of comfort whose tragic, dark origin is completely hidden. It's the perfect symbol for the Nolan family, a mix of deep love and just inescapable tragedy. So now that we have all that backstory, we can finally start to see how these two completely different bloodlines, the strong Rommelys and the weak Nolans, come together to create this complex new person, Francie herself. Francie really is a mosaic of all these conflicting traits. From the Nolans, she gets that passion for beauty, that tendency towards sentimentality. But from the Rommelys, she gets her grandmother's amazing gift for storytelling, her aunt's absolute love of life, and, maybe most importantly, her mother Katie's invisible steel, that quiet, unyielding will to just survive. But heritage isn't the whole story, is it? Of course not. Francie is also profoundly shaped by the world right around her, the sights, the sounds, the feelings of her daily life in 1912 Brooklyn. Her identity is built from all these little moments. It's the escape she finds in library books. It's the small spot of beauty she sees in a flower in a bowl. It's the resilience of that one single tree growing in her yard. But it's also the pain of fighting with her brother, the sound of her mother weeping in secret, and that deep, burning shame of watching her father come home drunk again. She is made of all of it, the good and the bad. So if she's all of these things, her family's complicated past and her own really challenging present, what is it that makes her a unique individual? What sets Francie apart from just being a collection of traits? And this quote right here, it just perfectly captures that final crucial point. Beyond all the inheritance, beyond her environment, Francie has something that is uniquely her own. It's that unnameable, unrepeatable spark, the part of her soul that you can't explain away with a family tree or a tenement address. It really leaves you wondering, doesn't it? How much of who we are is written for us, and how much is a story that only we can write?